Flash family. Welcome back to Flashpoint, a Southgate Media Group podcast dedicated to the hit CW show The Flash, starring Grant Gustin and Danielle Panabaker. I'm Lilith, and with me, as always, is the lovely
Kelly. Hey, hey.
Up for discussion today is episode 119, Who is Harrison Wells? A wonderful question that we honestly really didn't get any more answers to, but they're coming. Apparently.
This is the we're leading up to the moment that you've been screaming at the television for how many weeks?
Exactly. I like this episode. This episode is not without flaws, but I like this episode. It was fun and light, surprisingly.
Yes.
If you think about the actual material, like, I had a lot of fun with this episode.
I think we need to have a summer special on, like CW Seed of Joe and our lovely Captain Lance together.
True Detectives in Starling City and Central PD. yeah.
That would be hilarious.
I think that would be awesome. It would give Paul Blackthorne something to do. Besides being a mopey little jerk. But
that's right.
Anyway, so I gave you the synopsis. Would you care to read it?
Sure. Joe and Cisco head to Starling City to continue their investigation of Dr. Wells. While in town, the duo enlists the help of Captain Lance, and Cisco meets the Black Canary, who asks him for a favor. Meanwhile, back in Central City, Barry races to catch a metahuman named Hannibal Bates, who can transform himself into every person he touches, which includes Eddie, Iris, Caitlin, and even the Flash.
Hands off the metahuman.
That
means hands on the metahuman.
Who names their kid Hannibal?
I know, you're just asking for bad results, man.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree. We had Katie Cassidy as Laura Lance / the Black Canary. We had Paul Blackthorne as Quentin Lance. We had Danielle Nicolette as Cecil,
probably.
Cecil, okay. Then we had Patrick Chevalier, of course, as the long-suffering Captain David Singh, and Martin Novotny as Hannibal Bates / Everyman.
Plus everybody else who got to play him.
Exactly. Okay, so if you are an obsessive little jerk like me, you would know that in episode 2 of Arrow, Hannibal Bates' name appears on the list. Now, it's been a debate about whether or not this was just a fun Easter egg or if this actually means something. Kelly?
I have a feeling it means something.
I want it to, but I'm not going to give Arrow the credit to say that it does. If Flash came first and Arrow came second, yeah. But because Arrow came first and Flash came second, nope. Because, I thought that it would be awesome if metahumans actually had existed before for lack of a better term, I guess, the Big Bang. Mm-hmm. Because kind of sort of it's like that in the DC canon. It just depends on which one you subscribe to.
Right.
So I don't know if that's what they're trying to say, especially since the very last episode of Arrow that we saw, it was like, hey, this guy was in Central City when the Big Bang happened.
Or could he have been a bad guy who happened to get those powers? You know what I'm saying?
That would be the cop-out, though. I think that metahumans almost have to have existed before this happened, but now they feel like they can let their freak flag fly. They're like, there's this weird guy zipping around Central City. There's that one guy that was making it hell.
Yep.
Oh, let's just come out, So yeah, I don't know if that's what they were trying to say. I think maybe Hannibal was a bad guy and then got powers. That'd be kind of disappointing though for me personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah. So let's get into what actually happened in this episode. We open up with a Team Flash sans Harrison Wells meeting. So they're kind of talking about how they're going to go about finding out how Wells is the reverse, he is the Reverse Flash, what's going on. And Joe's like, we got to go back to the beginning. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, this was 15 years ago, but okay.
Barry, just whip us back in time 15 years? No.
I'm saying. Anyway, so then, they decide that they're going to investigate the car crash with Tess, Morgan, and Wells. And then Cisco and Joe have to go together, so that means Caitlin the bad little liar that she is, has to cover for Cisco. She was the stickler that didn't like lying, but you know, they take off, and Joe is concerned that she isn't with him, and he's like, "Oh, I hope she doesn't tell him."
Yeah, well, understandably so.
Yeah,
She has the most to lose.
yeah, she explained it, and like I said, I always knew Caitlin was gonna be that, especially when Ronnie came back and he really did help them. He gave up the Tachyon, prototype,
Right.
for them. So yeah, you know,
Unless he cloned it.
yes, possibly. You never know with him.
Duplicitous. Dr. Wells is duplicitous.
Yeah, but yeah, so she's been with him the longest, apparently. So
Yeah.
you know, I totally see Caitlin's point, but like, I don't know if that means that they're like, this is going to be the fraction that leads her to be Killer Frost, maybe. Like, even though she sees that, yeah, but she's like, well, he did a lot of good.
Yeah.
Besides murdering your mom, Barry, maybe it was a reason for it. Do you know what I mean? Because she's very logical and she can be very cold at times, you know?
Right. Well, because logical people look at things only through logic, usually.
Yeah, exactly. So I could see Caitlin kind of saying that, like, you know, the needs of the few, you know, that whole thing.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
The needs of the few can get the hell out of here. Basically, when it comes to Wells, because you all have been dead for centuries. I need that clip, Kelly. You need to give me that clip.
I shall get that for you.
Anyway, so then we go to why are they always robbing banks in Central City? Is Central City in Oklahoma like the old West? Is that what this is?
That's it. Well,
I
would think they would have a more elegant solution, though. You know?
It was weird. I'm like, okay, so we're at the local bank. The staff is heading out for the night. The woman's like, yeah, I'll catch up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to clear out these safety deposit boxes.
And I just happen to know exactly which ones.
I know.
And exactly where the die packs are.
Inside job.
Mm-hmm.
It seems kind of like a cut and dry case. And then like we see the footage is being reviewed by Eddie at the precinct the next morning. And the woman's like, I went home early. I didn't do it. And everybody's like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then something, it's like, okay, something is fishy, and it might be a metahuman. I mean, it is Central City, so at this point, anything is possible, and everybody's kind of awakening to that fact. I felt like that was kind of a recurring motif.
Yeah.
This episode.
Yes, agreed.
I kind of like this episode for that, because everybody else was starting to seem really stupid.
Welcome to Eureka.
Oh my god, that would have been hilarious. Then we cut to Iris, and she shows up, and she's like, "Where'd my dad go?" Barry's like, "Oh, he's working on something."
Yeah, something.
Yeah, and then she and Eddie have that little moment, and she's just like, "Whatever, I'm going back to my dad's house."
Poor Eddie.
Poor Iris. I mean, everybody's lying to her. She's just singled out Eddie, like I said last week. So
yeah, well, and Eddie wants to tell her. That's the kicker.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm just like, Iris, don't be like this. You are my fave, but you are being problematic as hell right now, girl. But she was kicked butt. I guess I'll just cut to this another little thing. Like, okay, where did those hacking skills come from?
Yeah, good question.
Was she getting her thesis in computer science?
I don't think they've said. I think that was part of our question. We don't know what she's studying.
Because they don't know. The Iris Bible is incomplete. And I'm flustered by that. But anyway, just saying. I was just like, that came out of nowhere. I like that she's a self-rescuing princess, but you don't have to go overboard with it. Because that borderlines a Mary Sue kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we've already got Felicity for that. What?
We need the Book of Iris, Chapter 3.
What does she even do?
Verse 16.
Oh, God. So anyway, cut to across town, and we see some familiar-looking jewels being evaluated by a jeweler. The man takes them back, and he's looking at the serial numbers, and ruh-roh, they're stolen!
Okay, who didn't think of that? Who didn't think that they'd be checking that? I mean, you gotta be pretty, dumb to try to take stuff that's that hot to a pawn shop.
No, to a legitimate pawn shop.
Yeah, well, exactly. To the real deal.
I know. I was literally like, this guy is not so bright. But then again, like, who calls 911? Like, aren't you supposed to call, like, a different line?
The non-emergency number, yes.
That's what.
But then again, he is concerned because, I think that would be a 911 call, because if you don't act correctly, the jig is up and you could be in danger. If this person is, a thief, they're very likely armed. So I probably would call the emergency line for that.
For the most part, like, a lot of, like, cat burglars are not, like, into that, because when you commit a crime with a gun, like, it's automatic exponential increase into time and stuff like that. So, I don't know. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, that's a good idea. But I was surprised how fast they got there. Like,
oh, yeah.
And he's literally outside. I'm just like, oh, coinky dink. It's coinky. So, like, they see the dude take off. Barry tries to catch him, but he's like, you gotta run like a normal person.
Yeah. Can't let him see you.
I go, get the inhaler, Barry.
Yeah, exactly.
Then the man, like, so Barry, just as Barry catches up with him, the man touches the teenager standing next to him, and he transforms into her. And then, like, once he's around the corner, Barry's like, crap, I lost him. And I'm like, duh, it's the first 5 minutes. This ain't the weather. Anyway,
and Barry didn't need oxygen. And Barry didn't need oxygen by that point, so win for Barry.
Definitely. At the labs, back at Star Labs, Barry's trying to get through to Caitlin, and she doesn't like it. And she's like, I need proof. And of course, the minute she says she needs proof, here comes Wells wheeling around the corner.
Yup, of course.
And they lie badly.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. And then they start to evaluate the metahuman and its powers, and they're like, immediately concerned about how it's going to affect Barry, because if he touches him, he'll see that he is Barry Allen if he takes off the mask.
Well, okay, who would try to, yeah, but, I mean, you think about this, if he touched Barry instead of the Flash, who would try to run, like, 900 miles an hour? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Would he even really kind of know?
Well, and it all became a moot point anyway, but right. I don't know, like, it's weird because he could take his clothes, he copied basically Eddie's gun, but you can't copy the powers? Okay, whatever.
Well, powers, depending on how they're, I guess it would be DNA, you know what I'm saying? It changed his DNA.
Yeah.
Which isn't just a surface thing. I don't know. It just would depend on how.
I just thought that was convenient, plot point being convenient.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there is a couple of villains that can steal powers, though. So I think that's probably what I was waiting on. Like, I'm not that familiar with Hannibal Bates, honestly. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I was just like, okay. Like, I like my shapeshifters hot like Mystique. That's all I'm saying. Only thing Marvel did better.
Hey, at least it wasn't Odo.
Well, I like that too. Anyway, so it's like, yeah, we're not going to take that risk, so you got to be cautious. Hands off the metahuman. Meanwhile, in Starling City, Cisco and Joe visit the police department, and they meet with Captain Lance. Yeah.
I love Cisco.
He's like, where'd you get this kid? He's like, yeah, we're here to talk about a case. And he's like, I don't think there's much left. He's like, can you just take us to the scene of the accident anyway? Lance is like, you're wasting your time, but all right. And then, of course, out pops Laurel.
Of course.
And she sees Cisco, and she's like, psst, psst, come here. She's like, she pulls him into the room, and she's like, I know Barry's the Flash and Oliver's the Arrow. And he's like, psh. You know, she's like, I know, she says, I know Felicity, Oliver, and Barry. And he's like, 3 people who have nothing in common. And she's like, I know Barry is the Flash and Oliver is the Arrow. And he's like, psh, what? Wait, how do you know that? She goes, because I'm the Black Canary. He's like, I love you.
No way.
Fanboying. I love it. Somebody loves Laurel Lance, aka the Black Canary, so I'm happy. And she's like, I'm gonna need you. Can you do me a favor? I need you to upgrade this. And he's like, okay. I'm gonna want something in return, but okay. Back in Central City, Wells is enjoying a drink at home, so everything seems pretty cool. So Caitlin is like going to the door.
Ding dong! Hi, Professor Wells.
And so she's like, it's like kind of weird because Wells is like going to the door, and then like Barry snatches her.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Wells opens the door, and he's like yelling at her, and she's like, she doesn't know, Wells can't be like that. She can't believe he's a criminal because, he did all this stuff for her, and that means that everything they've been doing is a lie, and she just can't fathom that somebody could be that duplicitous.
Right.
Oh, so yeah, they have that little talk, and
just give me until we wrap this up, and then you can decide once you have.
Yeah, he pulls the dad card. Well, Caitlin pulls the dad card.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yeah, she accuses him of pulling the dad card, and he's like, "But no, we should really just be smart. If there's no evidence, then we can kind of just confront him. Just sit tight, Caitlin. Sit tight. That's all he asked her to do. So that's what she does for now. And then Eddie and Barry do a little investigating. And by the way, I am kind of shipping Eddie and Barry to clash. It's just out of control with this show. Like, everybody's shippable. Everything's shippable.
That's true.
So it's just getting really bad. Anyway, they do a little investigating, and they're like, there's been a string of crimes committed in Central City. Duh. Ever since the accelerator exploded. And, that have been committed by people who have rock-solid alibis, no priors, and damning evidence of their guilt. And they trace the first case back to somebody by the name of Hannibal Bates. They assume this is their man, and they pay a visit to his house for a little more info. Oh, is that Rosie? Is she okay?
No, that's Ellie laughing in the other room.
Oh. Anyway, they go over there, and an elderly woman answers the door, and she says she's Hannibal Bates' grandmother, but something's a little fishy.
Yeah.
She's like, she can't even remember filing a missing person's report on her grandson. But they brush it off as poor memory due to age, and I'm like, she didn't look that old. So she leaves the room to make them coffee, and when she's out of sight, she transforms into another person and takes off running. And that leads Chase. Yeah. He has to do it the old-fashioned way. And then Eddie manages to catch up to the shapeshifter, and then he assumes Eddie's form and uses it to shoot 2 officers on camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened.
Because every police officer who is going to do something illegal would do it on camera.
And basically wink and smile at the camera.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's pretty damning evidence.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
If you don't live in Central City. Guess they should have had those GoPros.
That's right.
Wait, this is 2 people in the 2 different places. Anyway, at the police station, it seems like Barry and Eddie have a lot of explaining to do. Dash cam has what appears to be Eddie nearly fatally. Oh, thank God he didn't actually kill him. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Shooting 2 of his fellow officers, and then so like the DA is like, you're going to Iron Heights if you don't do some explaining. And then Iris comes in because she heard the news, and Barry's like, I'm going to do everything I can to help. And I'm like, oh, don't do this to me, you 2. Eddie's in trouble. Don't be looking cute. I just want them together already. Don't judge me. Anyway, on the outskirts of Starling City, Joe and Cisco and Captain Lance arrive at the crash site. Cisco whips out some of his fancy toys. And they get to work trying to track down the Tachyon. So Joe and Lance bond over their daughters, although Iris is more awesome than Lauren at this point. Just saying.
Of course.
Why couldn't they meet this episode, Kelly?
I don't know. That'd be nice.
Anyway, so Joe ultimately imparts a little advice onto Quentin, and I'm like, yep, there's Papa West. Always being a papa, even the other papas. To quote Jules.
Papa squared.
So they're interrupted when Cisco gets a little ping on his machine. And he's like, there's strong presence of tachyons here. He's like, it's bits, that he calls bits of time travel. And then, they answer the question about why we always see the floaty stuff.
Right.
She's like, yeah, I mean, duh, but okay, thanks. For the people that couldn't figure that out after that point.
Yes.
Back in Central City, Barry is desperately searching for a way to clear Eddie's name, and he doesn't think that he can clear him the forensics way. And so he tries to get Eddie to run, but Eddie, being the awesome guy that he is like, no, we're going to do this the right way.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I got faith in you, so don't let me down. Don't let me do life in prison at Iron Heights. In a cell next to your dad.
Because I don't look good in gray.
I beg to differ. I think we're kind of good in anything, but that's
well, gray with big stencils on it, Iron Heights. Just
that looks good on nobody except for Cole.
Yeah.
Anyway, Barry heads home to get started on his mission to find the shapeshifter when he's interrupted by somebody at the door in the most boneheaded move I've seen Barry make in a long time.
Yes.
He doesn't, okay, there's a shapeshifter on the loose. There's no way a judge would have let Eddie go. No freaking way.
No.
So, he turns his back on this dude on top of that, and he, gets knocked out with a pistol. Colt, just knocked out, just gone.
Yes.
And, I was like, wait, does he not have super healing? Because it turns out he was knocked out for a long time.
Yeah, a very long time.
That was another little weird issue, but okay.
So did it cause brain damage? Because he was obviously hit pretty hard.
Yep. And so Hannibal kind of bends down and touches him, and he becomes Barry Allen. And just when you think just the most ridiculous stuff is done, Caitlin shows up, and she has no inkling that this is not Barry, and takes him to Star Labs. And she even comes up with the name Everyman because Cisco's busy in Starling City.
Right, of course.
I'm just like, oh my god, can this get any worse? So she's working on that serum to neutralize powers, and he's all like, so tell me more about this, and how long do you think it'll take? Is it permanent? Oh,
here, let me smooch you.
Exactly. And so to distract her, he does kiss her, aka forces himself on her. And Caitlin looks confused, but is not alarmed that this is definitely not Barry Allen.
Absolutely not Barry Allen.
That was just, that's another part. It did really bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, back at the crash site, Cisco, Joe, and Lance unearth the dead body. And Cisco's losing his mind. Lance
Here, I thought Cisco was gonna say a bed dotty.
Ellie.
Well, he was kind of nervous.
Lance wants to call it in, but Joe begs him to keep it just between them. Lance is like, I don't really want to do this. But then Joe's like, dude, if we think this is who we think it is, no, if this is who we think it is, you're in danger. So, you need to just chill out until we can figure this out. And so Lance is like, I don't need any more drama in my city, so yeah, just do what you do.
Yes.
Then, okay, back at Star Labs, Iris shows up, and Barry doesn't know who it is. So, no. Iris brings the tape of Eddie shooting the cops and has them watch it over and over again, each time urging them to find something new in the shot. It's not until a few times that Iris realizes something different. The man in the video is shooting left-handed, and Eddie is right-handed. And it's then that the gears start turning, and they finally have some evidence to go off of when we see the Barry person. Oh, yeah, she did show up. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did go to Star Labs. What am I talking about? And she hacked those files, right? This is the part
as I recall.
Yeah, so she did show up. I was right. part is a mess. I'm sorry, guys. So then seconds later, we see Barry trying to pull out a gun from behind his back with his left hand. And then Wells, like, shoots him. And sees Caitlin, and they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's left-handed too. Our Barry Allen is right-handed. And I'm like, why do people, like, as a lefty, I kind of hate the sinister association. Like, I went to a Catholic school, so they tried to get me to write with my right hand, which is
really
not ambidextrous. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, ruler on the knuckles.
Ouch. You know, there's a left-handed store. I think it's in Indianapolis.
Like Ned Flanders, the leftatorium?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, yeah. That was another thing I just got really mad about. I'm like, why couldn't Barry be a lefty? And that guy be a righty. But, you know, you lefties know what I'm talking about.
Kind of like the whole facial hair thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it is still illegal. It is still illegal for a man with a mustache in Indianapolis, Indiana to kiss a woman in public.
What?
Yeah, not kidding.
How do you know that, Kelly?
It's on the books. There's a crazy laws post that I read a long time ago. It's still on the books.
It's funny. So anyway, I was just like, yeah, I want to take this dude in for proof. And Wells and Caitlin are like, maybe we'll just keep him at the lab. And she's like, what would you two do with him here? And they're like, and Wells is like, Caitlin, you go with her.
Yeah, like, really, because that's who you call when you need some muscle in case you have a shape-shifting alien in your backseat.
I know. I was just like, oh, this is not going to turn out good, is it?
No.
Meanwhile, what happens after this? Okay, they're on the road with, you know, the shapeshifter peacefully sleeping in the back, and they hit a red light. Then the shapeshifter takes form of a little girl and starts screaming, I'm being kidnapped! Help me! And a group of construction workers, like, come to her rescue. The little, like, what's funny about it is the little girl makes sure that she shows the handcuffs, and then she slides out of them.
Yes.
So they're like, the only option, I guess, they decided is to head back to the house and rescue Billy. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess. So, like, okay.
Well, who else would believe them?
Yeah, true. Very true. Then we kind of cut to Starling City again, and Cisco and Joe are getting ready to leave with the new evidence. And then Laurel, is like, Cisco, you got that thing I asked you for? He's like, yeah, I remodeled it, and here's the choker necklace, and that was my fangirl squee of the night. The canary cry is real, y'all. Oh, thank you, Cisco. But another thing I'm a little annoyed with is I feel like this particular piece of the crossover should have actually happened on Arrow, because it's a very significant thing for Laurel.
Yeah, it is.
And so for that to be brushed off onto the, you know, a sister show, that just goes to show that they really don't care about Laurel. That's just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, because you guys know I'm a Laurel stan. I root for the underdog. Anyway.
The underbird.
Bird woman! Anyway, she hands him an envelope, but she's like, I'll kill you if you show this to anyone. And she's serious. And he pulls it out, and it's a picture of him in Black Canary in full uniform. And I was just like, oh my god, this girl, I am you and you are me. You're such a dork.
And have you seen the Lord Mesa art picture of that?
Mm-mm. You gotta post it on Facebook so I can see it.
I will. It's Cisco. He's in his PJs in his bed, and he's clutching his picture with the canary. It's so cute. He's asleep.
I can see that happening, though.
Exactly.
Back at the lab, Wells has figured out that the metahuman can only alter his cells to look like another person, not become them. This means that he can't assume Barry's super speed. How convenient that it took him this long to figure that out, but whatever.
So he's a pretender.
Now that would have been an interesting take on Pretender.
Yeah.
Yep. So they finalized the formula that will freeze his shape-shifting abilities, and just then, Barry's cell phone is tracked to Central City Airport, where, you know, the shape-shifting metahuman's trying to get out of town.
Well, actually, the shape-shifting metahuman was there when they when they formulated the serum, remember?
Yeah, but they're finalizing this one.
Yeah.
Because Caitlin got distracted because kisses.
Yes.
Barry zips over, but the shapeshifter's ability is not going to make
Very non-berry kisses.
Yeah. Snowberry fans, y'all. I always laugh because the people that love Caitlyn and Barry together call themselves Snowberry. But from day one, I've called it Baitlyn for several reasons, mostly because it's shipper bait. Just saying. Yeah. So like this, we get the little cool chase through the airport, but with a twist because this guy's a shapeshifter. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
He should have changed into the gorilla and done the whole Samsonite commercial. While he's running through the airport.
So yeah, he tracks him down and he finally like confronts him, and the dude starts changing into Caitlyn, Iris, and Eddie. And he's like, and then he even manages to turn into the Flash, and then like duh, because he doesn't have superpowers, Barry's like, oh, you done messed up now. You might look like me, but you ain't me. And then he like stabs him with the little needle.
Surprise!
So yeah, the footage of the transformation is presented to the DA, and Eddie is released. He and Iris make up, and so he like is like, dude, I've been working with the Flash, and she's just like, what? And that's all she gets.
Yep.
Like maybe the fallout. I don't know. Do you think she's gonna be happy or upset about it?
Well,
because she straight up asked him if they were doing that.
I think she's gonna be both. I think she's going to go through, she's going to be happy for a minute, and then she's going to get really mad. Because he didn't tell her. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I like Iris and Eddie together for right now. Like, Eddie deserves nice things. Iris deserves nice things. They're two nice people. Mm-hmm. So, you know, for them to break up over Barry's secret would be garbage for me. And it would taint them getting together eventually. Kind of for me. Just saying. Back at the pipelines, they ask the shapeshifter who he really is. And then, like, so he starts going through all the little people that he shapeshifted into, and he goes, I can't remember. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yep. So, Cisco and Joe and Barry finally take Caitlyn to see some proof she's been asking for. And they're like, oh, it's no disputing it now. And they're like, wait, Tina McGee said he had become a different person, and he actually was. And this explains the DNA stuff at the house, and so everything's coming together. And then, just the ballsiest thing ever, Wells shows up at the police station. And he's like, what'd you go to Salt Lake City for? And Joe's like, Joe's like, didn't you used to live there? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, you ever go back? And he's like, no, too many memories attached. And he tries to pull Joe's heartstrings, son. I got so mad.
Yes.
I got so mad. I couldn't believe it. That was a messed up scene. I'm just like,
of course he'd do that.
You picked the wrong day, mister. You picked the wrong day to do that crap. Anyway, back at the lab, Cisco's, going through this little 3D model of the labs that he constructed after the explosion. And, like, he's looking at the pipeline itself, and they see something funny, and it's a mysterious room that shouldn't exist. And I'm like, no way. No freaking way is this an after credit scene. No way. They found the room.
This scene actually made me mad. This is the scene that made me mad.
Why?
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, I get it, but yeah, explain.
If you're the brilliant Dr. Wells, and you have a hidden room, wouldn't you protect it better?
Shouldn't it be like DNA? Like
iris scan, DNA, something.
Well, no, I mean, I can see this though, because he is a quintessential bad guy who likes to monologue, who thinks that everybody else around him is way more stupid than he is. So I can see it happening.
And Barry could vibrate through the wall anyway.
Very true.
But I'm just saying, for Caitlyn and Cisco, you know, they're no slouches.
Yeah, but they trusted him so implicitly that they wouldn't have been, you know what I mean?
Looking for it, probably.
Had Barry not shown up, they would have never found this room. Let's be real. They would have no reason to.
Right. Well, because it's in a weird place, far away from... So I guess that makes sense, but, you know...
It's like tachyon activity everywhere.
Yes.
But, like, the thing that was weird, I don't know, maybe it is DNA encoded or something, because when, like, the way that Barry puts his hand on the door and then it kind of opens, like, it kind of hesitates, I don't know. Like, it was a weird way that they showed that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, maybe he wants it to be found. I don't know. I mean, it's Dr. Wells. Do you ever really know?
No, you don't ever really know with Dr. Wells.
But they get into the room and they discover the Reverse Flash suit, and then Gideon is running for some reason. And they see the newspaper that we saw at the open of the series. Flash missing, vanishes in crisis, April 25th, 2024. And then Cisco's like, what the frack? I thought they were just going to go, what the? And then, like, Faye, and he said frack. Of course, it's Cisco. So, yeah, that's where we end. One of my favorite things about this episode, though, is that Wendy Sansler, who is, like, one of my favorite Arrow directors, finally directed an episode of The Flash. She did a great job. I love the composition, the lighting. It's like how Starling City could be. Mm-hmm. Like, because it's always dark.
Right.
And they brought the lightness of the Flash being in the daytime and stuff to that particular section of the show. And it just makes me kind of yearn for them to be able to do that on Arrow.
And I love how they brought the city's music with them.
Of course. Blake's the genius.
Of course.
You were getting there, Kelly. I love the scoring in the Cisco and Laurel. The Lamone. Oh my God. So, yeah. Black Vibe. Let's kill the hashtag Black Vibe and turn it into Lamone, because Black Vibe is not safe for work. if you're strolling through that.
Well, I'm not sure Lamone is either, but
I think it's a little safer, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, I just kind of want to tell you guys, maybe we should change that. Oh, the shippers come up with the worst names ever.
Agreed.
It's like, what's the most awkward mashing up of the names? I know. So what would you give this episode?
You know, I enjoyed it. I did have some issues with it, but it was fun. It definitely moved the season forward. We're finally to that point where we've been shouting at them, "Don't you know?" You know, at the TV and throwing bricks at the TV for how long now, you know? So we're at the verge. So I would probably give this episode a B.
You know what? I actually agree. That was the grade that I gave it as well. It was fun. It had issues. The fact that the Arrow characters are better on The Flash, it doesn't show Arrow in a fine light. And it definitely, for the people that watch The Flash and don't watch Arrow, I saw a lot of people say that they really liked Laurel. So that is a bonus for me. But like I said, it's also a negative, because why can't they write her so light and happy on Arrow?
Right. Right.
I thought that Ray Tourniquet and Courtney Norris did a really good job. They're the first time writers. And that's kind of daunting, doing a quote unquote crossover, and I thought they did a fantastic job. But it wasn't a lot of quotables.
And a reveal. I mean, you know, for the characters, a big reveal.
So yeah, I can't believe we actually agree on that. I can't believe it's so low. Like, I saw a lot of people really like this episode, but shout out to geekynews.com who actually gave this episode a 1 star.
Whoa!
I like reading, like, the whole spectrum of reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I think that's, like, the first time I've ever seen a bad review of the Flash.
Wow, what were they so upset about?
They just didn't like the Hannibal thing, and like how everybody seems so stupid. Like there's a shapeshifter on the loose and you're not being careful.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I understand that. And they actually kind of didn't like the Laurel and Captain Lance thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I get where everybody's coming from, but I was just like, wow, 1 star? You are a tough reviewer.
Yes, yes.
So, what was your favorite scene? I think it's probably the same for us. Because we are Firestorm today.
Yes, it is our Cisco, of course, and his lovely fangirl moment. It was so cute. And I will definitely send you that artwork, because it just makes it even more cute.
I also like the opening scene where Barry goes to get pizza from Coast City, because we finally saw Coast City.
Yay!
I'm not ready for Green Lantern. Unless it's Diggle. Like, if we get the backstory that Diggle's from Coast... No, he said he was from somewhere else. He grew up in Starling City. Never mind.
Yeah.
Bummer. It sucks to remember that now. Maybe we can retcon it. I agree. Like, I totally... Like, my scene of the night, by far, is Cisco and Laurel I also liked where they found the Lego room requirement. Because it's just like I wasn't expecting for them to actually find that room.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
Like, there's no like Caitlin, there's no debating it now. Dead body, reverse flash suit.
Yes, hello.
Were there any lines that stuck out to you? Oh, I really love the scene between Eddie and Barry too, where Eddie's like, "No, we're gonna do it the right way."
Yes, that was wonderful.
Okay, so I think my favorite line is Barry, for real? Like, and Barry said "for real" so many times this episode. He said like 4 different times, by the way. But he goes, "For real? Why'd you say
How many?
4 different times?"
Oh my goodness.
I think that's a semantic thing one of the writers have, because I say that too all the time. Actually, my thing is really be like, that's my thing. But
I know you really, yes.
He goes, "Why'd you slap me?" And Caitlin was like, "Because you were unconscious." And me and Barry literally said, "Have you never heard of smelling salts?"
Yes, that was funny.
Oh no, well, we already kind of talked about that scene. Like the whole the dialogue in the scene between Laurel and Cisco was great too.
Barry, I want to wish you good luck over there, but I'm also scared of what you might find, Joe. Scared is a good thing. Scared keeps us alive.
Oh yeah, that was good advice.
Yeah, Eddie's his pep talk to Barry.
Oh yeah.
This isn't like your dad, Barry. When your dad was put away, you were a kid. There wasn't anything you could do, but you're not a kid anymore. You're a scientist. Hell, you're the Flash. You're going to find Bates and you're going to clear me. So go do it.
I know. Like, Eddie is just the best. And if you don't think so, you can kiss my butt. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't want any. I like protect Rick Cosner at all costs at this point. It's like red flags going, he's gonna die, he's gonna die. My favorite moment, of course, was the floaty water, because I like that effect a lot.
Yes, I do too.
You know, you do follow the special effects guys. You should ask.
That's true. I should ask them.
I'm happy to report that The Flash is back up to its normal 1.3. We had 3,750,000 people viewing.
Woohoo!
Oh, I was getting really worried with the 1.1s. I really was.
Yeah.
So, I'm really excited that we're back up to our season norm, and people are loving The Flash more than ever, and everybody's excited about what's to come. So,
well, and this week I have a feeling is going to be big because, big doings are going to go on.
The Trap! Yes, episode 120, The Trap, is thebomb.com from all the things that I've read about it, and I'm here for it. But honestly, I'm more here for Grodd Lives.
That would be awesome too.
I can't wait for that particular episode, because like they've done really good effects with the ape so far. So
yes,
it's gonna be pretty cool.
I still think we need a Grodd Samsonite commercial. I think that would be epic. You should tweet
that to either Jeff Johns or Andrew Pressburg. You'd be like, you guys should team up with Samsonite.
Yeah, you should get Samsonite to advertise on the show. It would be so funny. Bring that commercial back. or DCify it,
Exactly.
That would be so fun.
So yeah, I mean, this all in all was a good episode. So anything else you want to talk about? You got any conspiracy theories you want to share?
Not this week. I'm still hoping for my crazy one to come true, but who knows? We'll find out.
I want,
maybe.
You know what I want though for next season? Okay, like I said, I don't know if we're actually going back in time and say Barry's mom at the end of the season, or if they're gonna save that for the season premiere. But I just want one episode in season 2 that's like an Elsewhere tale where it's like Barry's mom didn't die, like he gets to have like a little glimpse.
Yes.
And
a Groundhog Day.
Not a Groundhog. That one too, where he has to keep doing stuff over and over. But it's just like, if your mom hadn't died, here's what happened. Is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like things are like maybe him and Iris aren't friends anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe something happened to his dad.
Exactly. And so it's like, which would you rather? I think that because The Flash deals with time travel, that we have a really cool, unique opportunity to do some really cool things.
Yeah.
And I hope that they take advantage of it while they can.
Agreed.
That's all. I'm still so in love with the show. It's so sickening how much I love The Flash. So sickening. I'm so ashamed of my fangirlness. Like, it's not even like the nitpicky Arrow fangirl. It was just like straight up blathering fangirl. Oh my god, you don't like The Flash? Why don't you like The Flash? Love Grant Gustin, you must. I'm gonna be a mess at comic book day. But hey, you guys watch The Flash? You should watch The Flash. You want a podcast about The Flash? I got a podcast about The Flash. I got 3.
That's right. That's right. Oh, and by the way, did you guys all see all the photos from the 25th anniversary, the Flash tribute?
I did.
Yeah, they're awesome, and more keep being posted. So
I can't believe it's been that long.
I know this year is my. I shouldn't say this, but this year is my 25th high school reunion.
See, you and the Flash have more in common than you ever knew.
Oh, I know. It's funny because, well, it came on
freshman year, didn't it?
My freshman year in college, yeah.
Well, guess it's time for some shameless plugs and self-promotion.
Well, you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and anywhere else that really matters at Supersquint. That's SUPERSQUINT. You can also read me on voiceoftv.com. And you can also hear me on Before the Bat with Tyler and Bill. And of course, Queen Consolidated with the lovely Miss Lilith.
You can find me on Twitter at Lil Palfire. I'm in the process of deleting my Tumblrs except for thatflashpodcast.tumblr.com. And you can check out my blog, littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com. But I also want to encourage you guys to not only download the episodes because
they don't count if you stream them, folks.
And while you're there, rate and review and subscribe. If you want to check out some really cool stuff, I suggest you guys go to www.southgatemediagroup.com. Where you can find over 70 podcasts from everything from Pinterest to Star Wars and everything in between. Man, it's just massive. We have a cool iTunes provider page as well. Just type in Southgate Media Group and it will pop right up for you. So yeah, I'm really excited about next week's episode. So it'll be next Tuesday before you know it, literally.
And we'll be back in a flash.